Hundreds gather outside of the Supreme Court building as justices hear arguments on a case that is literally life or death. It is considered the biggest abortion case in decades. The Supreme Court considering a state law that puts Roe v. Wade on the line.
Nowhere else does this court recognize a right to end a human life.
That's the voice of Scott Stewart, the man who is leading Mississippi's effort to eliminate the constitutional protection for abortion rights nationwide. The Supreme Court hearing oral arguments Wednesday on that state's 2018 law, which bans abortions after 15 weeks. After nearly 2 hours of arguments, it appears all 6 conservative justices are leaning toward upholding the law, and some are questioning whether Roe v. Wade, the 1973 landmark decision legalizing abortion, should be overturned, something former Vice President Mike Pence says he believes will happen, if not now, in the near future.
I came here today to speak about right and wrong, to say life is a human right, and urge the Supreme Court of the United States to choose life.
If the justices decide to uphold the state law, it would be much easier for other states to ban or more seriously restrict abortion rights. Bishop Louis Kinnaman of Biloxi, Mississippi, is watching the case closely, saying, "We really need to win this battle, and we are definitely bringing it to prayer in a big way as a diocese, and I'm hoping the whole country will pray for the Supreme Court justices to make a decision that is built on the right to life." A decision isn't expected until sometime next year, but pro-life advocates are hoping the court will begin to undo the damage caused by Roe v. Wade. The director of pro-life activities for the New York State Catholic Conference is one of them. Cathie Gallagher is in Albany and joins us now to talk about this important case. And Cathie, as you know, the Supreme Court has never allowed states to ban abortion before viability. Do you really think this case will overturn Roe v. Wade?
Well, I'm not sure it will overturn Roe versus Wade, but we're very hopeful that it's going to strike at the heart of Roe versus Wade and get rid of that viability standard that was created out of thin air that protects some unborn babies and not other unborn babies, you know?
Right. And, you know, we have a conservative leaning court right now, but really, how common is it for the court to overturn precedent?
Well, I listened to the oral arguments in the court, and there was a lot of talk about stare decisis and precedent and overturning precedent. And I forget which justice it was, but it might have even been the Chief Justice who got the Solicitor General, who was arguing the pro-choice side, to actually admit that in the Plessy versus Ferguson decision, which was overturned by Brown versus Board of Education, you know, when they overturned racial segregation, she actually said something like Plessy was an outlier in our understanding of human rights, because at the time, you know, people thought that persons of another color were not really human. Well, I would argue the same thing about Roe. It's an outlier in our understanding of human rights, because now we know that the unborn are, in fact, unique, irreplaceable individual human organisms, just like us.
Absolutely. And, you know, as we just heard in our previous report, former Vice President Mike Pence has been talking about this case. Let's listen to what he said that got a standing ovation at the National Press Club in Washington.
This rising generation is the pro-life generation.
He says a new generation in America has been awakened. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, it's absolutely true. I mean, if you look at the public opinion polls on abortion, the most pro-life interest comes from young people who are in their 20s and below. So I'm very hopeful for the future. The polls also tell us that most Americans think abortion should be illegal in the 3rd trimester, like 81% of Americans, and most Americans, like 70%, think it should be illegal in the 2nd trimester. So I think that the court, with this decision that's going to come next year in Dobbs, is going to offer more protection for some unborn children. I think that's a definite. They wouldn't have taken the case if they were going to strike down Mississippi's law and say it's unconstitutional.
All right. Well, we can all say a prayer. Cathie Gallagher, Director of Pro-Life Activities for the New York State Catholic Conference. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
The abortion clinic named in this case in the city of Jackson is the only abortion clinic operating in the state of Mississippi. It's currently seeing about 300 women a month, including an influx from Texas, following that state's Governor Greg Abbott signing a 6-week abortion law back in September. Thank you for watching Currents News on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and then click on the bell. You'll get updates about all of our newest content. And if you see something you like, click the like button and then share it with a friend. I'm Christine Persichetti, and we are putting your faith in the news.